It's called khalaqa, here that ability, or because everything and the human being level has always the challenge of the meaning, the direction. Because you can create something to save life, but you can also, that same thing, destroy life. At the human being level, there is always this challenge. So the Quran is connecting khalaqa with sawwa, qaddara, it's there, qaddara and hada. Khalaqa fasawwa, والذي qaddara fahada. Sawwa is order and proportion, but also taswiya has that meaning also, the equality, right? But has qaddara.
So I mean to make really the function compatible,
correct,
equal with the. I mean, look at our body. I mean, each structure, I mean, each organ is structured in a way to respond to the challenge, to do its function very well. And every time we see distortion of the structure, you see distortion in the function. Even in the immunity. I always tell my trainees, every time you see distortion of the anatomy, you see less immunity. So what does it really mean? You became threatened by dangers from inside and from outside. So it's really very compatible, like in the same unit. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, الَّذِي خَلَقَ فَسَوَّى. Creation, but in the to respond to the right really challenge, there is a balance between the structure and the function.
Yeah, and even today, maybe the highest level, also the human being, it's, I don't think you know better than me the medicine, I never did that, but it was told that if you take, for example, how long this one, if you take one piece of the human being, you can construct the whole body. Because there is proportionality between this one, this one, and so you can even really construct. There's an art how you can take one. That's taqdeer is also the proportion is very well done. We reflect that. It's really on us. So if you give someone how long is your hand, he will just give you the whole. You know, the whole body. If you take how long is
the arms.
The arms, if you can see how tall you are. So we are in that proportion too. قدره is we are also under that. So it's really in us that also reflects that ability. We can do it. But also when we create something, we should be careful. So we create it in very well proportion. That it's that environment needs. You don't just use that ability without meaning, without the right guidance. You don't create for the sake of creation. You use it for the trip. Don't destroy that ability, because don't give it the wrong direction. Don't create to destroy life. You just be very careful. You create and you use it so you can continue your journey. So this is why you need to have that sawwa, qaddara, according to a measure, but also to guide. You remember sabbaha, is that you need that guidance. The next two A's is so beautiful. الذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أوحى, and أحوى, and who brings forth here they say herbage anyway. That makes it dried up, dust, color. No, each time you create something, there's the prison. You will be a prisoner for what you created. Oh, so this is what I did. This is great. This is wonderful. This is the end of history. No one really will reach these things. No one will do it. There's no way we can do other thing but this one. You are killing yourself with this ability. Yes. You create it, but use this. أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى. Use that ability to free yourself from what you create. You create it to face this challenge. The challenges are not going to end. So tomorrow when you are facing another challenge, Forget about it. Make it dust. You don't need it. It's no longer able to answer what you need. Use your ability to create according to the same way a new answer to a new challenge. So this is how life continue in this world. خلق الموت والحياة. Without that maut, maybe life itself would be very miserable. You are a physician, maybe you know better than me about this type of things, but it means the death does not kill, if you like, life or stop life to continue. And that's how we need also to use that thing. We need to always to free ourselves from what we created as solution, and it was really a real solution that has sawa, qaddara, and has hada. But tomorrow, when the challenge will change in our trip, that needs that ability to navigate, if each time is no longer able to answer, so is not the solution. Because as human being, anything we create will reflect our trip itself. That is continuously and perpetually should be there to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So anything to create, it's our limit. If we don't get ready or prepare ourselves to free ourselves from it, it will prison us, it will kill us. So you can see how Quran is liberate us. So you see the idea of muharrara, not hur, not free, is perpetual freedom. So because any freedom you create, it will be contained, when the challenge is higher and will never be able to answer. So you need to use al-Musa, al-Wasa, one of the name Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attributes, but maybe here Mecca is not there to that level. But just here give the address. The address here is Al-Ala. So this is the address for the message. This is the address for the prophet. Use what you did, that Rabb, put together, educate, but the address is Al-A'la. Now, the society is moving toward Al-A'la, and you can see the other. Sorry, sister.
Oh, no, that was, I was enthralled. I was thinking, going back and sort of commenting on where you're going with the concepts of creation, order, and proportion, that it's almost like cancer, that when you have creation and replication of cells, if there's not an order or a proportion to it, then it just becomes cancer and it can spread all over, and it's very destructive. We speak of cancer in social discourse when we talk about when a society, in the use of perhaps old ideas or ideas that are no longer suited to the purpose, when you've attempted to do perhaps a good thing, but in replicating it without order and without proportion, you've now become a dictator, or you've infected your country, in a sense, with this now out of control element. And so I think it's very powerful that it's then followed by other examples of, laws have been ordained, guidance has been ordained. So you're not just saying create without any sense of boundary, but create sensibly with direction, with proportion.
It's very beautiful. I gave really the analogy with cancer, because earlier we were talking about, death and life are both really needed. Okay, and it's amazing. Like when you are writing and you erase, you use the eraser. Is that right? So what does that really telling the pen or you to create something better? Okay, or it was something wrong and you want to bring something that is right or closer really to the truth. Or when you, the same thing in the computer, when you delete, you don't delete for nothing, you to bring something better. Is that right? And even in our own selves, we have this program death. apoptosis. Is that right? If that is not there, you will get the cancer. Or there's one mechanism by which we see these cells growing without control, without order, without, qaddara, without sawa. Okay, so it becomes really incompatible with, the structure is incompatible really with the function itself. So it really is nobody will really choose something like that. Is that right? So in social life, as you are saying, you are bringing really death, okay? That will stop while we are still alive. But it's not like قُتِلَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا أَكْفَرَهُ. You have killed the human being while he is still alive. Or we killed ourselves, so we are not able to continue the journey. One thing about, how that really manifests itself in our social life, as Naji was saying, what was really a solution to a certain challenge at certain historical period, if I take that solution to a challenge of today, it will not be compatible with it. Right. It will fail. Right. I need a new invention. Since we mentioned earlier Toynbee, he has a chapter in his book, and the title is Idolization of Mechanism. Can you imagine? Idolization of mechanism. A certain mechanism that helped us to solve a certain problem in a certain society, okay, becomes an idol. We start worshipping it. That it is the only one. You see, it's one. But it became our idol. We became imprisoned. What does it mean? To worship an idol. It's really like to become imprisoned in that level. And you as if you kill yourself at that stage. Okay? So how we are able to liberate ourselves? And Quran, we have seen it, how it brings really before us these images that we see all the time. You see the mar'a. You see when the land is really covered with the grass, green grass, the animals are able to graze and everything. But in no time you see it becoming stiff and black, gufa and ahwa. So it is gone. The same thing. This is that mechanism or that solution has a lifespan. Societies have lifespan. Ummah, nation has a lifespan. And if you remember, was present in Khutbah Al-Eid, we were saying that we need to look for a new ummah with new attributes, guided by the reference, in order really to move forward. Now if we continue with what we have today, I will not really lie to you, my dear brothers and sisters. We are going nowhere. We need to change. We need to bring new skills. We need to bring new sciences. We need to create a new ummah with the new dimensions, with the new inventions, with a new creation, in order really to continue. Because the challenges of today are not going to be solved by the previous mechanisms. We need to open a new page, if you like. Does it mean that I am destroying? No, without understanding the past, I cannot move into the present and the future. I cannot liberate. Naji used to tell me, Walid, if in order to go above a certain thing, the first thing you have to understand it. The human being could not fly until they understood gravity. But the gravity did not was not an obstacle. But the more we understood it, we brought it under our control, so we were able to fly. But can we say that gravity is gone? It is still there. And if you don't believe me, go to that roof and try to jump. Okay? You will not fly, you will go down. But if you use the right invention, if you use the right creation, you will fly. And within 100 years, you see the development in the aviation industry. Okay? We don't even need anymore the wing. We surpassed the wing. I mean, at the beginning, we saw the birds using their wings, and we learned from them. But oh my God, we did not wait billions and billions of years in order to fly. Within 100 years.
There is something also very...
You need evolution?
No,
you see it? You need, who can... The people who talk about evolution, I ask them all the time that question. Are you able to create? Don't talk about others' creation. Ask them. I remember, I forget this writer who said one time, you have read the Genesis, the first chapter in the Gospel, in the Old Testament. Is that right? Genesis. He said, you have read Genesis. What is your Genesis? So ask these people, what are you able to create? Challenge them. I'm sure they will tell, no, I can't create. So why you are talking about evolution then? I mean, within 100 years, we have seen what inventions we were able to, what the creation we were able to come with. It's not billions of years.
Yes, it's very interesting anyway, the idea of flying, because when you fly, you also have the idea of freedom. But so when you have when the idea is still prisoner within the wing, you fly less. You have higher freedom but less. But if you are able to free yourself from that mean also, to disconnect it from the wing, it becomes not an abstract idea. You will fly higher. You can even go outside the atmosphere. When there's the wing, it's not going to work there, because the wing and the air, they are connected. The wing also is very limited to our atmosphere. You cannot use it. If you need to go, it become غثاء. That wing become غثاء.
Nothing.
Is no sense. This is the idea of غثاء. It's really the no sense. You cannot use it at that level. It has nothing to do with the wing, unless you free yourself from it. So the freedom itself and that ability to be free, that will help you too.
At least the animals will not eat from that grass if it becomes ghuthā.
Yeah. But what's very interesting, because the Quran, we need to use all what you have as ability to extract what you need. There is no end really to that. لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن ينفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا. Even if it was an ocean, because we'll say the ocean, but the ocean, there's an end to the ocean. If you use the ocean as ink to write. So, but you may say, hey, as human being, I can reach a point that the ocean will end. Quran will say, even if you bring madada, more oceans, the Quran is not going to end. So when I was looking to this, look at ismi. Again, the concept is very well chosen. Adam, the human being, علم آدم الأسماء كلها. The language, the concepts, the names. This is how we communicate between each other. This is how we can become one, become unified, if you like. We put all our effort together, how we can teach each other, how to communicate with the old generation, how to communicate with our history. This is why today, if we need to understand previous civilizations, we go and see their writing. we'll go and try to understand the language they were speaking. And this is how we can discover exactly totally a new world. How they used to think, how they used to see the world, what they discovered. Ism. It means we cannot move if we don't have that ability to create the language we need, to make it a language for the society that can speak the challenges, they can speak the answer of their challenges. We also, it's al-ism, it's very, very interesting here. سبح اسم ربك ولله الأسماء الحسنى. Asma is plural of ism. فادعوه بها. So unless you have the ism, you have that ability to take the reality to the level of our awareness. We cannot communicate it. We cannot move. So we need a new language also that can help us to move toward Al-Ala. And also here, what's also very beautiful, Allah relates this to Himself. الذي خلق فسوى الذي قدر فهدى الذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى. Here's Allah. It means if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using that to make this life continue and possible, why we need to doubt it? Are we better than Him? Allah is the address, is the goal, is Al-A'la, is that toward what we should navigate. So this is what He did. You have that solution at its highest level too. So you need to develop that ability to get it in our life. How to make that possible in our own life. And each time anything reaches no sense, forget about it if you want to continue your journey. As we said, the example of the wing. If you want to go outside the atmosphere, so you choose between two things. The wing or continue your journey. You cannot have both. It's not going to help you there, my friend.
I don't know if you have seen that. A very interesting really movie about an American industrialist who was really interested in planes and making really planes. And there was one place which was really fascinating to me because we were, discussing these issues about the creation and what really may become really an obstacle. His engineer came to him saying, I am not able to increase the speed. And it was a challenge how you can reach to further places, okay? And he said one of the obstacles is that we have two wings. You remember the older? He took the axe and started destroying it. He said this, as if he's saying this has become ghutha. It's not solving our problem. He started destroying. He said, look, go and make it of one wing. And then they were able to fly for a longer period of time. It's amazing how, you see how, if they continue to be a prisoner of that mechanism, or they make out of it an idol, they will not move.
Take another thing. We are Muslim, right? And there's a trip. And toward Al-A'la, we are not kidding here. As you prepare yourself, you just need to be aware of what you are doing. You want to join the trip, right? Joining is to be present. You cannot join it and you are at your home, right? You come. So ashhadu, say ashhadu. Ashhadu is also to need to be present. Away. And you need to be there. You cannot be witness if you are not there. If you go to the judge and the judge said if you tell the judge, I were not there, but I'm witness here, you then go home, at the least. Because really
I have a witness. Where is that witness?
So unless you are there, you cannot be witness. But the trip is toward Al-A'la, right? Later on will be Allah. All these attributes will be connected to the common, to Allah. But do you start with Allah as Muslim? What you say before? Ashhadu an what? La ilaha. La ilaha. There is no way to continue your journey toward Allah if you are not able to say there is no God. La ilaha. And you need to learn that first. Because you can make an idol any time and any moment that you will worship. You will be totally diverted. You need to learn for this trip the condition, the first condition, to be present and to learn there is no God. Forget to know Allah. There is no end to it. So you can see here is so how powerful, how beautiful the message, and also how it's common to the human being. We can talk and we can say what we said today. I can really talk about it in Japan, in Brasilia, in China, in Venezuela, in Europe, in Africa. I don't have any issue with it. And I will communicate with the people there. It's not these 5 pillars they told us, Islam, these 5 pillars that are totally not connected to anyone else. It's the message that can make human being life and mission in this world possible. This is what is about Islam. It's not that idea of submission, that idea of sabbaha. Can you navigate when you submit? You give your fate, your destiny to someone else? How you can be witness in that condition? How you can say ashhadu? And you need to be able to say ashhadu, to be present till the last moment on your life. When we die, what people try to remind us? Shahada. Is the religion that starts with that negate, you will be able to negate to the last moment. But even you are dying, you are going to move to the world when the truth is there, is present. But you are still able to say, now God, but Him. You are still moving. You are still controlling your death itself. It's under your control. The movement is still there. You are still able to say, Ashhadu, I am present, and there is no God but. It's just amazing how the message is able to free us from all condition, regardless how hard it is. Even death itself, it becomes under your control when you are Muslim.
The language of the Quran, the message of the Quran is almost like mathematics then. Because you could take just the numbers and count concrete things and stay within a certain framework and never move beyond that. I only use the numbers to do this one thing because that's what numbers are for. Or you can take the numbers and begin to create abstracts and revisit the language, and all of a sudden you're out in space. You're looking at different universes. You're exploring dark matter. You're doing all of these abstracts because you freed yourself from the idolization of the concrete.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Exactly.
beautiful.
Very beautiful way of
I think yeah.
Yeah, and really this is why Quran emphasizes really variation, diversity. Because when we look at populations, each member is unique, not only in humans, but even in plants and animals. I mean, each organism is really unique, and this is the reality. And when we make an average, becomes an abstract. You see, not the other way around. The people who may become prisoners to the concrete, okay, and whatever we see. I mean, it's like just the image, as if we are in the cave, okay? They are like allegory of the cave. No, it's really the variation that Quran emphasizes. اختلاف ألسنتكم وألوانكم. It makes really, this is the reality that we have to deal with. It's really a new way of really thinking or approach, okay, that will liberate us, as you are saying, from really the concrete really itself. And it's amazing, Naji, how, I mean, with the passage of time, the language has become close okay, of humanity to what is really available to us in Quran. Earlier you emphasized the name, the power of the name, because you discover something, you invent something, and then you give it a name. If you don't understand a concept, you don't give it a name. You discover a particle and you call it, let us say, electron. Is that right? Now, every time I say electron, you immediately think of the concept. Is that right? So you see how the power of the name. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. Today, linguistics, they came to the same conclusion that any language can be boiled down to its basis, which is the name. Everything else is derived from the name. The verbs, the prepositions, everything is derived from the name. So in other words, it becomes easier to talk, to communicate, because we are not talking on different planes. Okay, I say what is the power of the name, they understand what I mean. And Rahimallah Iqbal, he said, when he was commenting on the verse, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا, that human being was endowed by the ability to name things, to make out of these observable reality concepts. So our knowledge is conceptual. Inshallah, next time we will connect what we have discussed with the verses that will come. سَنُقْرِئُكَ فَلَا تَنْسَى إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ إِنَّهُ يَعْلَمُ الْجَهْرَ وَمَا يَخْفَى. Just try to make some thinking about it. Okay, and inshallah we'll continue the discussion next week. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair.